time to tool. It's time to tool. It's time to now's the time.
Hey YouTube, Matt here, bringing you my deck profile from this week's Northampton tournament. This week I decided to play Doppel because I fell out with Constella for a little while. Played it for a bit of fun, ended up going 2-2. This might end up being more of a deck profile more than a tournament report, but whatever. So, start off with the 3 Junk Synchron. Obviously it's staple because it pulls all your level 2s, level 1s, and is your main card of the deck. Then we have 2 Doppel Warrior. 2 Doppel Warrior is plenty fine. There's no need for a third. I do play a Quibbolt because I tried playing 3 Doppel once before and it just ended up really clogging. Sometimes you don't have the ability to special summon it from the hand, so having the Quibbolt being able to come back from the grave can be very useful. Then we've got 2 Quick Draw Synchron. Again, I've tried this at 3, found it a bit cloggy because you don't always have the discard outlet because a lot of your plays can be very expensive for the hand and you're making big pushes, so 2 is just fine and you've obviously got the 3 tunings to bring them to the hand quickly. We've got the 1 Synchron Explorer just for a bit of recovery play, and it's also a target for Junk Synchron to bring back, so it's fine at 1. We've got the only plant of the deck, Dandelion. It's still amazing. Dropping it off with a quick draw is just fun, or dropping something else off for a quick draw, normal summon the Dandelion, create tokens, and go mad. We've got the 1 Quibbolt, as I said. 2 Doppel and 1 Quibbolt seems to be really strong. I did side this out a few times, so it is dispensable, and it becomes an easy side, and it's maybe something that changes. Then 2 Level Eater. You always want a Level Eater in the grave. You never really want it in your hand, but it being in the hand can be useful as well, so having 2 just to try and get it to the grave quicker, or have 1 in your hand to discard for something like a Quick Draw Synchron is really good. Then we've got 1 Unknown and 1 Symphonic Warrior Basis. The Basis is supposed to be another Unknown Synchron for a target for Road Warrior, but Basis is fine. I didn't actually use its effect to pump it up. For the most part, I made Basis when I had the Road Warrior. I went for the Basis to keep the Unknown Synchron in deck, because I think having the special summon ability of the Unknown Synchron is better than having the effect of the Symphonic Warrior Basis, because your normal summon is very, very important in the deck. Then we have the Lightsworn engine in the deck. I've tried various engines in the deck. I've tried keeping plants in with Loam Fire, Dandies and Spore. It just doesn't work anymore. Without Bulb, it's just not good enough for the deck anymore. I also used to run an expanded version of the Lightsworn engine with 2 Lila and 3 Raikou, but I've changed that to 1 Lila, 2 Raikou, and a Charge of the Light Brigade, mainly for the fact that Raikou and Lila aren't that great anymore, but you mainly want them for the mills, and then they're lights for the Chaos engine in the deck. We then have 2 DD Warrior Ladies. These are slightly random, but they're to get rid of problem cards like Ophion, Draco Sack, anything like that. They're also light, so you can just let them go to the grave, and if they're milled, it's a light for the Chaos engine. Then we've got 2 Maxi. These are the only hand traps in the main deck. I am running the Veilers in the side. Often, if the Maxis aren't good, I shall just switch them straight for the Veilers. It ups the light count, and you've obviously got the stun element for it. I think I only did that once in the 4 games, because the Maxis were just really good all day. Then we've got the 1-ofs and the Chaos Monsters, the 1 Gauze. This is fine. I'm not actually running any traps in this deck whatsoever, so Gauze is just a really good play. It's level 7, so if you get a level 1 tuner, you can go into an 8 and go off from that. Plus you can mess with the token as well. Then we've got the 1 Dad. Dad is just amazing, because a lot of the times you have enough graveyard manipulation so that even if you have 4, 5, 6 darks in the grave, you can get them out of the grave or banish them to make a Dad live. Then we've got the Chaos Monsters, the 1 Chaos Sorcerer, and the 1 BLS. And I believe the monster count is something like 26. Then for the spells, we have the 1-ofs. We've got the 1 Rota to search the Doppel Warrior, the Junk Synchron, and the DD Warrior Lady. I didn't actually think about that. I never searched it.
No.
But I didn't need it, so it wasn't a problem. We've got the 1 Charge of the Light Brigade for the Lightsworn engine. Did see this a few times, and it was really helpful. The 1 Warrior Returning Alive. Why is this not shiny yet? This card is amazing in this deck, because obviously you can pull back this bastard. You mill him, you get him back, you feel good. Then we've got the Dark Hole. I had 1 pot of, what is it, Dichotomy now, horrid name. Sampled this from a box, so I thought I'd give it a go because I saw in Speedy C's video he was running 2. I'd like to run 2 because, in fact, through the whole day I only saw this once and it was in an opening hand, where obviously that's horrendous. A lot of times, because I was only running 1, this went out game 2 for other stuff. We had the one Foolish, so glad I now have a shiny version of this, it's too good. The one Mind Control, this was useful a couple of times. It also came out when you were just going against decks where you know the levels aren't really that great for you. The 1-for-1, really good. It's even better if you've put the Veilers in as well, but 1-for-1 can still pull out that Unknown, the Basis, or the Level Eaters. Then the other spells, the 3 MST. 3 MST is just a must in this format at the moment, so 3 is in everything. We have 3 Tuning, probably one of the key cards of the deck. It searches out your Synchron tuners, so that's Junk Synchron, Quick Draw, and not Unknown. Is it Unknown?
Yeah, it's Unknown.
It is Unknown, it's the other one I'm thinking of that's not the target. And pulls the Unknown, and it's also a mill. When you mill Dandy off this, you feel real good. Then the last 2 spells of the deck are 2 Scapegoat. I was trying these out because I'd never actually played Scapegoat, well, I had played Scapegoats in the deck in the old Plant days, but not recently. These at 2, amazing, good for defensive plays, good to just get them tokens, so yeah, Scapegoats are definitely staying in the deck. Then we have the extra deck, the one Formula. Why can't we have this at 2, please?
No.
It's fine, we have Purelist, but it's bad. But yeah, so like one of the main things is with the pot of dichotomies is like you can get a Formula Synchron back, your Hyper Librarian, and your Junk Synchron. So yeah, that's why it's
and also
there.
Something else I've just thought of is if you make Black Rose off of that play, you have the machine, a psychic, and a dragon.
A warrior, but yeah.
Wait, Hyper Librarian is a psychic, I believe.
No, it's a spellcaster. I thought you were on about warrior for Junk Synchron.
Yeah, same difference. But again, that play carries on from it.
Yeah, it's a fair point. That's all at level 2. I was tempted to put a Purelist in, but I decided to put a Fitzgerald in, which I'll get to in just a sec. At 4, we have the Armory Arm. I did make this once because it was just a play where I could get 2 Synchros out, so I ended up going into a Junk Warrior, but not through a Doppel, so it was only on 2,300. But I got the Armory Arm out, so it's on 3,300, and you're dealing bird damage. Bird, burn.
Why didn't you play the Miss Valley Colossus at 3?
I was tempted to, but it was the fact that I wasn't running the Veilers in the main. If I was running Veilers in the main, I would have played Miss Bird, because Miss Bird is really good.
Okay, fair enough.
Then at 5, which is one of the main levels for the deck, we have a Cataster. Was made a couple of times, was really good. Junk Warrior was amazing. Just having that being at 3-1 against something like Dragons is really good, and it's just 3-1's really hard for any deck to get over. Then Hyper Librarian is your other key. 5, going Librarian with formula plays, you just want to do that all day. Then the last 5 was Frozen Fitzgerald. It was a toss-up with my last spot being Purelist or Frozen Fitzgerald, which was dependent on my side deck, because I've put a third Raikou in the side, and because Junk Synchron plus this makes... Junk Synchron plus Raikou makes Frozen Fitzgerald, I thought, sod it, I'll put the Fitzgerald in. Fitzgerald is sort of really being a placeholder for Armides, because it has a similar first effect. So, yeah, and it's 2,500, so it's not terrible. I didn't make this in the day, unfortunately. Then going to 6, we have the Junk Gardener. Made this once and ended up winning me the game, because obviously having that ability to control the position of your opponent's monsters and your own if need be is really strong. Because if you're going against a deck which only pushes out one boss monster, being able to control that is amazing. The one Drill Warrior. Drill Warrior is normally really good, didn't make it that day. And then 7s, we have the Junk Archer. One of the few misplayers I made of the day was just forgetting that Junk Archer didn't banish itself, so that ended up screwing me up a bit, but meh, it's still a good card to get rid of Exceeds, because obviously it drops the material off them and makes them utterly useless. Then Black Rose for boomage. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to go boom, so I was minorly sad. Then the shiny thing is a Junk Berserker, so any sets this screws the living hell out of, and it's just a strong attacker at 2/7 with a good effect as well, so you can pump it up if need be with other Junks. Then at 8 we have the Stardust to eventually go into Shooting Star if possible. Then Junk Destroyer for your spot destruction, and it's a pretty good beat stick at 2600. Then we have Road Warrior for those quick draw plays. Then it's at 3k, and then it can either pull out the Basis, the Unknown, or Doppel Warrior from the deck, which is just really good. Then the last card in the extra was the Shooting Star. Never got to make this, unfortunately, and near enough every game too it ended up being sided out for a Crimson Blader, which was in my side deck. So Crimson Blader is probably going to get main, but for the life of me I don't know for what, because the only problem with this deck is extra space spot. You really do want 15 to 20 spots in this extra deck, because there was times where I wanted Scrap Dragon or Red Dragon Archfiend or just other stuff.
Star Eater.
Was there a time? Yeah, there was times I could make 9s and shit like that. Yeah, I wanted Missile Worm at one point. It's just like, fucking... And then we have many shiny tokens, because that's what the deck does. Then finally on to the sideboard, we had the one T-King. In hindsight, I may leave this out, but I don't know. I never used it, so I might take it out. Then 2 Chaos Hunter. Initially I was going to put Iron Walls in. My theorising for that was when the Iron Walls went in, I would take out the BLS and the Chaos Sorcerer. But I thought, that's sort of a bit shit, because obviously the Chaos monsters are some of your best boss monsters in the deck. And then just when I was looking through stuff, I saw the Chaos... No, originally I saw Kaiku. And then I thought, right, Kaiku's kind of good, but you don't want to waste the normal summon. Then I came across Chaos Hunters and thought, right, this could be really good. 1, it stops your opponent from banishing cards. 2, it's a dark. 3, it's a level 7. So if you get one of these out and a level 1 tuner, you can go into 8s and do other stuff. So just a really overall versatile card. Then these two shouldn't be grouped together, but I am grouping them together. There was one XYZ Encore and a Grand Mole. I only have one Encore, so Grand Mole was sort of a place spotter. The Encore never went in actually, but the Grand Mole did once, because what did I didn't, it was against Maiden. So because Grand Mole doesn't target, I put it in against the Maiden player. I got sacked by the Maiden player, that's all that needs to be said about that. The 2 Veiler, these went in against one of the games where I just took out the Maxis because I thought, this is bad, take them out, there's no need for them. Then we've got 2 Closed Forest. Closed Forest went in against Lewis round 2 playing Harpies. I did open it, and that screwed him up quite a lot, plus for the fact that I'm not running any traps, so he's got nothing to pop really on me, so it just made it really difficult for him. But I didn't draw any Synchrons or anything, my hand was jank and I got destroyed in about 5 minutes flat. Then we have 2 Mind Crush. This went in against Charlie using Mermails, got it off calling Diva, which screwed him right up. Then Debunks for just dragons and other stuff, partly for Mermail. I sided in these against Charlie as well, but didn't see them. Then just sort of the last 2 random cards. We've got the one Raikou just to pump up into 3 in the extra deck if I just wanted some extra spot removal, or if I decided that the Lila wasn't good for that matchup, so I'd take the Lila out, put in the 3rd Raikou. And then the Crimson Blader, which definitely should have been in the main board, but wasn't. Because I know I've watched a few of the Speedy C videos. He plays like 2 or 3 synchros in the sideboard as well, which to be honest for this deck isn't all that bad, so it's something I may consider before, but Crimson Blader I think needs to go into the main, at least for now. So thanks for watching this deck profile, and see you next time with something.